This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the Town of North Haven.
Good evening. I'd like to call the December 11, 2024 North Haven Fire Commission meeting to order. I'd like everyone to please stand, remove your hats for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So I'd like to ask for the approval of the minutes of the Board of Fire Commission regular meeting held on November 19, 2024.
So moved.
Do I hear a second to the motion? Any question on the motion? All in favor? So
Aye.
moved. Chief's report.
Good evening, all. I want to start by acknowledging Stacy Wuchek, who was able to be here tonight and cover for Yvonne on short notice. So appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
So I'll start the Chief's report regarding incidents. So 2023, this time last year, we were at 4,530 alarms. 2024, we're at 4,497 alarms. Our last Board of Fire Commission meeting occurred on November 19th. So the numbers I'm going to give you to follow are going to cover a time period of November 19th until December 10th. So since that, in that period of time, we had 14 ALS interceptor transports. We had 16 incident responses to the highway. We had 80 incidents in which there was just an ambulance responded with no fire response necessary or needed. This is again that confusing stat, so I'll cover it slowly. We had 54 occurrences, which accounted for 129 incidents, during which time there were multiple incidents occurring. And it accounted for 45% of the overall calls in this time period. That covers the alarms regarding the budget through period 5, which we're not quite done yet, but just about, we are done with, is 41.5%. Fire fees, I have through period 4, revenue of fire fees of just under $78,000. Again, through period 4 for ALS billing, just under $14,000. I don't have updated numbers on that yet. Sometimes it's about a month behind. A couple other things regarding the budget that we cover every month are some of the staffing impacts that are having a role in the overtime line. So we've had one member that's been out on long-term sick leave since July 25th. We've had one member on long-term sick leave since September 8th, with the exception of only a couple of tours in which he returned for, but otherwise has remained out on sick leave. One member out on injury leave since November 6th. And we are 2 others right now that we are monitoring for potential long-term leave in the near future. That's what I have for budget. The fire marshal's report was provided to you in your packet. Nothing really to elaborate further on there. And if you have any questions, I'll certainly be happy to answer them.
Any questions of the chief regarding his report?
Budget-wise, with the revenue that's collected, are we budgeting, putting in the budget what we anticipate? And are we close to where we thought we would be?
So it's hard. So I believe we budget for $90,000 in income on the ALS billing. We'll be pretty close on that. We got to monitor it and see. On the fire fees, I believe it's somewhere around $400,000 or $500,000. We've always exceeded that mark every year.
Okay. I think it's the ALS billing that often
That's
gets
always
brought
so
up.
much short.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's it. You know, the thing to keep in mind is if we want to see that number go up, that just means that our paramedics are going to be riding to the
Tied up.
hospital that much
Yep.
more, and we're short firefighters. And so it's certainly a balance, but it's something we have to keep in mind.
And that happens upon occasion, obviously, when one of our paramedics take control and for an urgent issue.
Correct.
They'll go to the hospital.
So that accounts for the 14
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
this past time period. That's organic. That's not forced.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we want to see happen.
Good. Any other questions of the chief?
No, not budget current, but are we
I have it on the agenda.
For the-
I have stuff
okay.
for it.
Correspondence. We did receive a correspondence from Deputy Chief Aubert. This is to all of our commissioners, and CC to our first selectman, Michael Frieda, and our fire chief. I'm writing in regards to the decision that was made on the November 19th Fire Commission meeting not to extend my contract. That was not the decision I was expecting. The fact that no commissioner asked me any questions gave me the impression that no one had any concerns about my ability to do the job or the quality of my work. I have been a dedicated member of the department for 43 years and have always worked to help improve the department. From the day the commission made the decision to promote me, I have worked diligently to do the best job and move the department forward following the chief's vision. I arrive at work most mornings before 7:30 and work until after 4 p.m. I also take on the responsibility of being the on-call chief a majority of the time. I live in town and have the ability to respond quickly to any incidences that may arise. I respond with our apparatus to surrounding communities when we are called for mutual aid and am always available to the department members who may have questions or concerns. As the administrative deputy chief, some of my responsibilities include overseeing our record-keeping system, quality control, all incident reports, fleet maintenance, assist the administrative assistant with payroll, reviewing the official logbook, procurement of equipment, scheduling and overseeing testing of our SCBA packs and bottles, ladders and hoses. I am also responsible for the investigating any reports of accidents or damaged equipment. As the administrative deputy, I was also tasked with updating our local emergency operations plan to bring us up to state standards. I did this prior to the requirement date, which allowed the town to receive a $5,000 grant. My first day as deputy chief, the department began using a new record-keeping software. I immediately began to learn the new system, which enabled me to update our record-keeping system. We're also able to better track our fleet maintenance, our personal protective equipment, and inventory the equipment on the apparatus. I was able to utilize the software to implement and organize systems and checklists to inspect all of our hydrants in the town twice a year. It is also my responsibility to replace and repair equipment. I continually monitor our equipment budget, and I review pricing from several vendors to obtain the best pricing as not to overspend that budget line. Since becoming deputy, we have accepted 2 new engines and a new marine unit. I have traveled to Ohio and Tennessee to conduct final inspections of these purchases prior to the delivery and coordinated their delivery and equipment to get them in service. During the current budget cycle, there was a capital expenditure approved to purchase the new PPE for all members of the department. After deciding on the specifications of the PPE, I was able to work with our vendors to not only purchase new firefighter gear, but also a lighter weight gear, boots and gloves for use in non-fire activities and incidences. Policies have been put into place to ensure that all PPE is logged up to date, cleared, and serviceable. The lighter gear, along with the new policies, will reduce the exposure to cancer-causing agents and also reduce fatigue of fire department members. This was all done under budget. I'm currently working with Connecticut OSHA, along with Deputy Chief Bisson, on the courteous inspection of our department. We invited OSHA to visit on several occasions, looking over our policies and buildings and report any deficiencies. This will allow us to make necessary updates to our policies and correct any hazards in our buildings, which will create a safe work environment. All the work being done to improve and update the policies and procedures is helping to become a more efficient and well-run department. I work tirelessly for the department and give 100% to everything that I do to assist the chief and to help to improve the safety and well-being of every member of the department. I still have the passion for the job, and I've built a trust among the department members and that will be difficult to replace. Since becoming deputy chief, I have noticed an increase in morale and a willingness by all members, career and volunteer, to get involved in projects to assist with making this a premier fire department. In closing, I ask that each commissioner reconsider their decision and extend my contract for 1 year. This will allow me time to finish up my work, assisting the chief in his goal to grow the department, improve our policies, create a safer work environment, and ultimately attain accreditation. Thank you for your consideration, Jeffrey O'Beer, Deputy Chief, and again, CC to Michael Frieda and our Fire Chief, Paul Januszewski. Has anyone else received any correspondence?
No.
Chief? No. Thank you. Old business of the fire department.
Old business, I got a few things for the commission. We'll start with the budget. We discussed this in a draft form during our last meeting. I want to provide you with the narratives so that you have some insight moving into the next workshop session. So what I'm providing now are the narratives themselves, which hopefully will remain intact and available to the Board of Finance members. These are five-year capital plan. And that would be the operating lines for next year. Don't believe there's any significant changes from what we discussed. If anything, we just solidified some of the numbers.
And this is pretty much everything that we received in your email.
Correct, yeah. Yep. And it was essentially what we discussed last month as well.
Correct.
No significant changes at all.
Okay.
I think the biggest changes you'll see on my operating budget, I've indicated that some lines are contractual. I had a hypothetical number in there when we met last, but that's a number that comes from finance, and so it was just my projection is all that it was.
How close were you?
I was pretty close,
Right.
but I haven't got a number from finance yet,
Yeah,
so
right.
we'll find out.
Oh, these aren't from finance.
These are not from finance.
Okay.
These are the fire department submitted sheets. Yeah, so they owe us the numbers on the yellow highlighted lines.
Okay,
When would we anticipate that arriving?
It's usually provided to the Board of Finance, not to myself.
So we don't receive it?
Nope. So on the operating side, it all corresponds with a narrative within the packet I provided to you. And on the five-year capital, there's no narratives with that. It's just as seen.
Any, just take a few more minutes to review.
and this has gone over to finance. Do we know, they haven't set a schedule for anything yet,
So the
right?
schedule was set, so the budget was due on December 2nd. It was submitted by the close of business on December 2nd. The workshop is scheduled for Saturday, January 11th, and it's an approximate time of 9:15.
Usually snows that day,
Always.
or rains. Any other questions or any thoughts about the handouts that you received?
Certainly take a look at it. There's a lot
Yeah,
there. If you
there's
have
a
any
lot there.
questions, reach out to me.
Yeah.
We can certainly discuss it further. We've got about a month.
Gonna come quick.
Actually, a month from today,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
gonna come quicker than we think. Any other old business, chief?
Old business, I have none, and new business, I have none.
Okay.
Just a couple of quick questions.
Ed?
Apparatus in terms of,
It's only been 3 weeks since we met last, so I didn't bother printing off the in-service, out-of-service.
Yeah.
okay,
But no significant changes, no.
mostly the same as it was last time, okay.
And the new apparatus are working correctly?
Yep, they're all in service.
Okay,
The two are in service.
good.
Is there any change in the snow removal for the?
I haven't heard
Two
any
shops?
further.
No.
No.
And
No.
that one ladder truck that was out, that's still,
It just came back within the last probably 4 or 5 days.
okay.
Under old business, I guess it would be considered, the commission asked me to reach out to the first selectman regarding the 300,000 that was donated by Quinnipiac University. Mike indicated that as a result of conversation with the chief, it appears that we're at about 250,000 or close to, and there is some additional work that needs to be done, whether it be, I think, plumbing, electrical, and certainly appliances and some additional carpentry. He indicated that the 300,000 is allocated to the fire department, but we cannot go beyond that 300,000. There's no additional monies in the budget for any other repairs to that second floor. I think you were pretty close in your, and it was a guesstimate that you came up with at that time. And I made him aware of that. And certainly the cost of labor and product has increased significantly. So my expectation, and is what I articulated to Mr. Frieda, is that we will more than likely expend all of the 300,000. He certainly indicated that other departments were interested in a piece of that 300,000, thinking that the projection that we talked about at 250,000 was going to be the max expenditure for the renovation, but obviously that's not the case. So he committed that the 300,000 would be allocated for the renovation. So we need to make sure that we get everything done for the 300,000. I think that was the only other thing that the commission asked me to communicate to Mr. Fried about. There was anything for the good of the department?
I got a few things.
Go ahead.
So there's a motion that Commissioner
Yeah,
Mulligan
we'll do
has.
that, yeah.
I'd like to have that taken care of.
Okay,
I'd like to make a motion to elevate firefighter Ryan Finnegan from a grade C to a grade B, from a grade B to a grade C, effective immediately.
do I hear a second to the motion?
Second.
Is there any question on the motion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. Anything else, chief, for good of the
Couple
department?
things. I'd like to acknowledge 2 notifications of retirements that were received in the last 2 weeks. The first is firefighter Marty Callo, who has been with us for almost 31 years. And the second is firefighter Michael Caruso, who's been with us for just over 35 years. And they both happen to be in the room tonight, so I appreciate their decades of committed service. And they are both 2 of the most proficient and dependable engine drivers that we had in the department. They're going to be big losses for us.
Well, we certainly congratulate each of you, and thank you for your years of service to our department. It's amazing, 31,
31 and 35.
31 and 35 years. I mean, it's an amazing number of years to spend in a profession, and just think about all of the lives that you've touched throughout those years. So we certainly thank you on behalf of our commission. We thank you on behalf of the residents of the town of North Haven for your dedication and your years of service to our community. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
So along those lines, we'll be working to try to hire 2 additional firefighters. I'll have more for you on that as we get to the point. If it looks like we have any applicants and we can move on that between now and our January meeting, I'll be in touch with the commission so we can put some dates together. So we'll see what happens with that. A couple other things. The volunteer fire associations are advertising right now for their stand-in delivery, so anybody interested can check Facebook for some details on that. We're pursuing a FEMA AFG grant for equipment and training. Don't yet have the details on that, but we're going to pursue something regarding technical rescue and training. So we'll have a dollar amount and some other information for you as that gets finalized. The last thing I have for you is we are in conversation with Father Santiago's replacement, and we've been in touch. I actually already met with Father Turner, who's taken over Father Santiago, and we're looking at bringing him on board as a second chaplain. Before doing so, I just have him scheduled in the month of January to come to the departments and meet with all of the staff and just make sure it's a good fit for him and for the department. And if it is, we expect to have that before you as the commission, probably February, March, to acknowledge a second chaplain available to membership within the department.
I think it'll be a wonderful addition to Chaplain Jim Detweiler, who's done a marvelous job for our department and has served us well. I haven't met Father Turner, but
He's a great guy.
yeah, I saw Father Santiago just before he left and wished him well and thanked him for his service to us. So he is a great guy as well. So I look forward to meeting Father Turner.
That's all I have for good of the department.
Okay. Anything else? Any other commissioners go to the department? Hearing none, we have public comments. I see we have a full house here today. Please stand up. We don't have a microphone, but so please feel free to step up.
Good evening. I'm Moshe Tom Haggerty, Local 2987 President. I have a letter here to you guys, not only from the members of 2987, but also from volunteer companies 3 and 4, along with signatures from everybody in the department regarding Deputy Chief Aubert. Deputy Chief Aubert is a 43-year veteran of the North Haven Fire Department. He has served at every level of this department, starting as a volunteer and promoting throughout his career to the rank of Deputy Chief. During his tenure, he has been an example of what a good firefighter and officer should be to the public, the department, and to the men and women that he serves. He personifies the ideals of his department: professionalism, service, integrity, and dedication. While he has served in his role as Deputy Chief, he has brought stability and efficiency to the Office of the Deputy Chief Administration. He has worked tirelessly on station safety and streamlining our ability to track and repair apparatus and equipment, as well as improving report writing and data collection. Deputy Chief Aubert consistently shows up on scenes both in town and when responding to mutual aid calls. The manner in which he conducts himself makes him a role model for members of this department. Your decision to not renew his contract has made the members of both the paid and volunteer companies question the ideals of the department and this commission. If a person that exemplifies all these qualities is not suited for this position, then who would be? Members have now questioned their association and loyalty to this agency and whether or not they would even want to take a promotion test within this department. Your choice makes it increasingly, considering the changes that are occurring within the department, your choice to not renew his contract makes it increasingly difficult to navigate these challenges. The members of the North Haven Professional Firefighters, the members of West Ridge Fire Association, and the members of the Northeast Fire Association ask you to reconsider your position and renew the contract for Deputy Chief Aubert.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that'd like to speak in public comment? Here are none. I'll entertain. First of all, I'd like to ask the commission permission to admit Deputy Chief Aubert into executive session after we meet. We'll invite him back into the session if you wish. Is that up to your liking?
Yeah.
Yes? Perfect. We'll adjourn into executive session.
You have to make a motion to.
I'm sorry about that. Please make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to move into executive session.
Do I hear a second? Any question on the motion? Motion agreed. Thank you very much. I'd like to reconvene the December 11, 2024 North Haven Fire Commission meeting to order. Is there any further business coming before this commission? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. Happy holidays to all. Thank you for your support of the North Haven Fire Department.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the town of North Haven. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at nhtv.com.